Hi, Adya.
Hi.
I'm Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I knew I needed to get up here, but I wasn't quite sure what I needed to say.
Well, here you are, Julie.
Yeah. I think from the last gentleman that spoke, I realized something. About 5 years ago, I realized that there was this big blackness. And before that, I'd had a lot of loss in my life. And I felt like I couldn't be with that blackness. Mm-hmm. And since that time, I've been on this spiritual quest to understand. And I think everything that I've been through is just deepened this tendency to have to control and figure it out.
Ah, yeah.
And as we were doing the meditation, it's like I'm so controlling. I couldn't even understand what my experience was. But as he was speaking, I realized it just seems so simple. It's just this... It's like there's this big layer of pain over this big black hole. And I know I have to go there. And I want to go there. And I'm choosing to go there.
Go where?
To the hole.
Oh, yes.
But I know there's all this stuff there.
There is.
It feels like there's a lot of old emotion.
Oh,
there,
okay. Yeah.
That I need to go through. And
okay, go through it. There's no going around it, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Go through it doesn't mean you've got to get stuck in it, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean you've got to like wallow and disappear in it. It just means you'd go through this scary place, but never forget that you're going in it to go through it. It's like, if you want to drive to New York City, you got to go through Nebraska. It may be flat and boring as hell, but you got to go through it anyway.
Right.
Or you may have to brave the traffic of, Manhattan. That may be tremendously frightening, but nonetheless, it's kind of like that. It's not so you go there, set up camp, build a house, and live in the pain forever.
Right.
But you do, whatever's there, you just go through it.
And I think my mind's afraid that I'm going to make up a lot of stuff and get stuck in it.
Yeah.
So just like the experience of having emotion versus like grabbing the emotion and making it be something. And
nice. See, you already know. You already know. Have the emotion rather than grasp the emotion. As you said, yes, that's it. You go through it.
Okay.
You just go through it. It's not that it even takes long necessarily. It only takes long if you start to hold on.
Right.
Or be horrified or in some way contract. Keep your eye on where you're going.
And when I'm in that place of experience and my mind keeps grabbing it, it's like there's this very fine line.
Yes.
It's like I don't know how to not grab.
Just don't believe mind. You can't stop the mind from its commentary. Just realize the mind doesn't know. It's trying to know. That's what minds do, don't they? Sometimes it's nice to have a mind that's trying to know. Sometimes it comes in handy in practical application. But in all the other areas, it doesn't come in handy at all. But give it its due. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. Trying to know. But you don't have to believe it.
Okay.
You don't have to believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the most important step is just prying your hands off the steering wheel. Only then can you realize it steers itself. And it always has. And it always will.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody has their own way of covering over that void. You know? That's what the whole egoic thing is about, ultimately, when you strip away all of its reasoning and all the subtlety that gets created around it and the explanations. Basically, it's just an avoidance of the void. That's all. And some people, the way their system is hooked up, they avoid the void through pain or through fear. Other people avoid the void through happy egos. You know, like the Stepford Wives or something, you know, everything's fine. And that is, you can actually avoid the void with, you know, being sort of a sunshiny person. That can also be a way to avoid the void. So people are hooked up, we're all hooked up differently as ways that are very, very skillfully help mind avoid its source. Right? Help the mind, which wants to know, avoid the unknown, the inalterable unknown. And once you realize, oh, that's what this protective thing is, it's just a way to avoid the void. That's all it is. And when you're ready, you just, you know, do a big old swan dive and go in anyway. Yeah. Yeah. It's totally common, by the way. It's really common. It's part of spiritual work. I say this fairly often. Part of spiritual work is, at some point or another, most everybody goes through their shadow side. The shadow side that spiritual people are avoiding like hell. That's why they're spiritual. Because it's good and light and angels and all that's fine, don't get me wrong. But a lot of, not all of the reason, but some of the reason why a lot of people are spiritual personality types is because they're hiding from this darkness. And they want to be on the light side and the good side all the time. Well, that's fine, but if you want to get to the highest good, at some point or another, your shadow's going to show up. Right? Your demons, whatever they are. Whatever they are. And only when you can go through your demons without pushing them or grasping them tight do you see that actually the demons cannot hurt anything. They can only hurt if you're grasping them or pushing them. If you're not doing that, they cannot hurt anything. They have no power. But it is totally natural that one's inner demons present themselves at some point in time. Yeah. You've heard of the old saying, way before I said it, what you resist persists. That's about as true as it gets. That's why there's this whole, in many traditions, there's this sort of underlined thing of the holy fools, the enlightened fools. In many traditions, enlightened people are not only thought of as saints and very wise people, but also fools, those who are willing to be foolish, those who are totally willing to appear totally foolish. Because why? Of course, this is a teaching. It's an absolute necessity to be willing to be foolish. To be willing to be seen as foolish. And to be foolish inside oneself. As William Blake said, a fool who persists in his folly will become wise. Or as my teacher said a little more pointedly, only the phonies don't end up enlightened. That has a little more Zen bite to it, doesn't it? You know, phony. Am I hiding myself? Phony. Am I avoiding any part of myself? Phony. You see, there's lots of ways that we are phony with ourselves, you know? It's all it takes is just come out of phoniness, totally. Completely.